And ladies and gentlemen, my name is Arcane Static and welcome to Mangabites, the show where we take new manga that just came out in Japan and condense them into bite-sized, easily digestible summaries before they're available in English, most of the time. All images and art are owned by their respective owners, and any changes to the panel shown are to prevent copyright infringement. Buy the comics when they come out, please! Today we're looking at the second volume in a series that's restarted and has got some serious history behind it. Clamp's most beloved manga series, CardCaptor Sakura, has long left us wanting more, and we're finally getting it. Here's Volume 2 of CardCaptor Sakura, The Clear Cards. When we last left our intrepid heroine, she and Tomoyo had just secured Sakura's second new card, Siege, when it had ensorcelled Sakura's room. Tomoyo's elation that she was able to capture Sakura's heroism on camera is overshadowed by Sakura showing her two cards to Syaoran, who remarks that it is also a clear card. The Sakura cards, still blank and unusable, are back at Sakura's house with Kero. As the school bell rings, Syaoran despairs. It started happening in her room even. In class, Tomoyo says she's joined the chorus club like in elementary school, and Sakura joined the cheerleading club. It starts raining outside, strangely. The teacher remarks about the 0% rain chance in the weather report. Thanks to Tomoyo literally never being without a costume for Sakura, she can investigate the mysterious rain in costume number 2. The rain reacts kind of violently and wraps up Sakura and Tomoyo like a rope. If I get wrapped up all the way, there's enough rain that I'll... Sakura uses her Gale card to free herself from the Strangle Drown hold, and then captures it inside the Siege card before securing it, getting the Aqua card from the experience. Later on, she calls Syaoran on the telephone to tell him about it, and some orbs appear over his I Ching. I'd better hurry. While at work with Kyoya, Yukito gets a text from Sakura about the new card, and her brother remarks that the power he gave to Yukito and Yue may not return, but he's got some new stuff he can do. Don't worry about Sakura. When the time comes, they'll know what to do. Back at home, the Sakura cards are still completely blank. Sakura worries about what's happened to the spirits of the cards, wonders if they're all right, and resolves to do everything she can to help them. During cheerleading practice after school, Sakura's high skill level impresses the coach. However, suddenly everyone around her disappears as soon as she stops to tie her shoe. She can tell something's up, so she releases her wand and tries to use Gale to pin down the culprit. But no matter how fast Gale is, this thing is faster. She decides she needs something that can cover a bigger area and uses her new card Aqua to throw water all around her, catching sight of whatever caused everyone to disappear in the process. It's some kind of mirror-like spirit. She quickly secures it, forming the Reflect card. Syaoran, who is the first to reappear, looks more and more worried every time we see him. Since her clothes got all wet from the aqua burst, when she gets home she decides to have a bath with Kero, when suddenly something hits her consciousness and she falls into blackness. When she comes to, she's there in the void with that hooded figure again. The figure tries to take the key, but Sakura wrests it back just before noticing something about that hooded figure. Wait, you're... She wakes back up, having passed out. Kero, worried, checks to see if she's hurt, but when she can speak again, she hesitates. That girl was the same height as me. The next morning, Sakura mentions to her brother that she's worried about how much their dad has been working lately. He responds that she shouldn't worry him by coming home all soaking wet, and then pauses for a moment, concentrating. Not yet, huh? He gives Sakura a piece of broccoli, saying that she should eat her vegetables and grow up a bit, become a monster. At school, there's a new student, Shinomoto Akiho, who Sakura immediately tries to befriend and brings to lunch. Syaoran notices the way her food is, Chinese food, and asks if she's been to Hong Kong. She replies that yes, before she came to Japan she was over there, in addition to England and Italy. Sakura volunteers to show her where the staff room is when she asks, and remarks on how they both look rather alike, not just in looks but also in similarity of name. They decide to be friends with a good handshake. Syaoran talks to Eriol later on the phone, mentioning the new girl. Eriol says he's not surprised. A new girl was supposed to show up based on his fortune-telling, and that the only other info he could gather was that she'd take a real liking to Sakura. Maybe be good friends. Syaoran says he didn't feel any magic from her, and Eriol agrees that it didn't come up in his fortunes. When told about the new card, Eriol says, I know it's difficult right now, but you have to wait. Now's not the time. to which Syaoran replies, "I know. When the time comes, well, that's the whole reason I'm here." Later, during class, Sakura gazes out the window absently, only to see that a tree in the schoolyard has uprooted itself and is squiggling around like an octopus. Tomoyo makes an excuse that Sakura doesn't feel well and offers to take her to the nurse. Outside, Sakura apologizes for taking Tomoyo out of class yet again, but Tomoyo's delighted. "Looks like it's time to say that line again. I knew this would happen, so I prepared." Tomoyo has a costume because of course she has a costume. Together, they rush outside to find all the trees have risen up out of the ground. Sakura looks at her cards and decides that Aqua would only give water to the trees and make them stronger. She encapsulates all of them with siege, and just as the trees are about to puncture the rubbery walls, she uses Aqua to fill the bubble with water so that the trees can't run around anymore. She commands Aqua to open a path for her and dashes up to the center of the bunch, using her wand and incantation to secure the new spirit, a set of gears reflected in a crystal shard. Tomoyo laments that while Sakura was inside of Siege, she could not film her magical exploits, but Sakura got the action card from it. Later, showing the card to Yue, she explains that she thinks the card just gives inanimate objects the ability to move. Yue pensively says that while he doesn't feel any magic from the card, Sakura can nevertheless use it somehow. "The answer must be in that new key," he says, and changes back to Yukito. Yukito, after greeting Sakura, says that one day he wants to actually meet this other version of himself. Later, Sakura talks to Syaoran on the telephone. After hearing about all that happened, Syaoran tells Sakura to call him immediately if something happens. Sakura asks if it's okay to call even if nothing has happened, and after a short pause he says, "Anytime." And that wraps up Volume 2. Volume 3 isn't out yet as of this recording, so we'll have to wait for it to get released to find out what happens next. Sakura's got 5 cards now: Gale, Siege, Aqua, Reflect, and Action. What cards are next? What happened to the Sakura cards? Will we get them back? How the hell does Tomoyo have a costume literally all the time? And what are Eriol and Syaoran hiding from Sakura? Find out next time in Volume 3 of CardCaptor Sakura, The Clear Cards. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed this one. Since the 3rd volume of CardCaptor Sakura, The Clear Cards, isn't out yet, the next thing that I'll be working on will be Tongari Boshi no Atelier, or the Atelier of Witch Hat. It's another like magical girl type series thing, which is actually really freaking cool. Like, the character designs are super rad in it, and you can see the process for doing the preliminaries for making this kind of video with all these stupid pink notes. But we'll look forward to that one, which should come out probably next week. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, the like and subscribe buttons are waiting just below this video to be caught as cards that have suspiciously similar powers to the ones that you've already caught previously. You can also follow my socials. It's the Facebook and Twitter that are down there in the description box. And if you feel like it, you can throw some support my direction at the Patreon link that's down there as well, which is something that I would deeply love you for the rest of my life if you did. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.